Good morning, beloveds. All right. It is hot. I heard somebody refer to the dog days of summer. And, growing up, we all thought dog days of summer is because it's August and, dogs are really hot. And actually, it refers to the Sirius, the dog star, because it's in a certain position in the sky. But, no, I'm still gonna go with the child interpretation of it's hot and the dogs are not happy. So, Rita just appeared. She heard me talking. It is August 9th. Our title is I Control My Thought. And our Bible quote is, Thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity. And that is that Bible prophet, I'm going to guess, that I don't know, Habakkuk. Habakkuk. 1:13. At some point I'm going to have to go look that one up. All right. Free does not mean that wrong thinking is justifiable. Infinite mind created man a free soul in order that man might experience with varying combinations of right ideas. I am free to think in all possible ways about the good, the true, and the perfect. There are endless possibilities of right thinking and right action. I now assume dominion of my mind and emotions and dedicate them to positive goals. I enjoy the infinite variety of divine ideas and that contemplate their possibilities of making me a new creature expressing spiritual discernment. My faith in God is so great that I have no faith in evil. I cannot conceive of evil's power, for I know that God alone is power and is presence. Life to me is an affirmative action of thought. I think affirmatively this day, knowing that good is created, maintained, and extended by so doing. I drink of the living water of spiritual truth and am never thirsty for error again. I eat the heavenly manna of God's ideas and never again hunger for old experiences. I look forward with my mind and create good ahead of me. I do this deliberately, for my future will be the result of my thinking today. God's thoughts are now my thoughts, and good appears instantly wherever I look. Thinking rightly of God and of man is a joyous and easy accomplishment. My mind is centered in heaven, and good is established in my earth. Ideas of good appear in my consciousness continuously, and I give them free action through me. I am in full control of my own destiny, and I now create good alone. Recognizing only the one true source of my thinking, I experience only the one possible effect of my experience, the effect of good. Controlled, poised, and sure, I see God everywhere as I think His thoughts with Him. All right. I control my thoughts. So one of the things that immediately jumped out at me is, if you're familiar with the magicians, Penn and Teller. One of them doesn't talk, and I think that's Teller, and then Penn talks a lot. Well, one of the interesting things about Penn is an atheist, does not believe in God. And people challenge him on a regular basis about being an atheist and what keeps him from doing wrong. And they list them, and I'm not going to list, the wrong things. And Penn says, I don't need fear of a punishment to keep me from doing wrong because I'm a good person. I do all of those things exactly to the amount that I want to, which is Zero. I have no desire to do any of these bad things that you're asking me about. And I think it's very interesting. And I found that with a number of atheists that I do know. I do know several atheists. And they're good people. They do not need the fear of punishment. They do not need the fear of being damned to hell to, there. You've made your cameo. They do not need, fear of God to keep them from doing bad things. And I think that Ernest would find that, I don't want to use the word comforting, but that's what Ernest is talking about. So he says, you're free. You are free, but you are not free to think wrong thoughts. You are not free. Being free does not mean just that wrong thoughts are justifiable. You still have to answer for those. Because one of the things that we say is you are not going to be punished for your sins. You will be punished by them. So when you make wrong use of the law, it's going to come back and bite you. The problem is it very likely will come back and bite other people too. And so it's not the fear of God that keeps us on the path of good and right. It's because we are aligning with the good. We want to make the best use of the power at our disposal. And the way to do that is to align with the pathways of the power. I'm just going to use it that way. Think about water. If you create a channel, then water is going to be amenable to going in those directions. Water loves to flow downhill. And it's easy for water to flow downhill. Now, you want water to go uphill. It's possible, but it takes a whole lot of pressure. What the Romans did, because the Romans were very good at this, is before they had, long before they had engines. What they would do is they would continue to narrow the channel down, and which would gradually increase the pressure on the water. But it only goes so far. So when we are going to make the best use of the power of God, the infinite mind, whatever, then it behooves us to use it in the manner of, to align with what we call the qualities of God, which is peace, joy, harmony, creativity, and flow downhill with it, like water does. It's the easiest way to do it. So to do good. To do evil takes a lot of power. It is a misuse of that power. And it inevitably is going to explode in interesting ways. So I control my thoughts. That's where we are. Atheists are interesting because they don't need the fear of God. And science of mind is interesting because it also doesn't need the fear of God. It recognizes that there is one power, and it recognizes that the best way to use that power is in good. Because we will get a lot more bang for our buck by using it within its channel than if we try and direct it in ways that it's not meant to be used. Electricity would be another good example there. If you use electricity appropriately, it lights your house. If you use electricity inappropriately, it burns your house down. You're not going to be punished for your sins. You will be punished by them. All right. I may have gotten slightly off track there. I do that, though. I'm frequently off the rails, but I, enjoy it. Okay, so I control my thought. That's the title. And the Bible quote, "Thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity." So go back to the atheists. They're not afraid of God, but they don't stand for bad things happening. I'm sure that there are some out there that do, but a lot of the ones that I do don't. They work for organizations. They work with organizations that do good in the world because they want to see good in the world, not because they're afraid of God, and not for a reward from God, but because it's the right thing to do. And that is kind of what it strikes me that Bible quote is about. And like I said, Habakkuk, Habakkuk 1:13. So, free will does not mean that wrong thinking is justifiable. Infinite mind created people a free soul in order that people might experiment with various combinations of right ideas. There's an infinite variety of various combinations of right thinking. Why would we bother to do things that are going to explode in our face? I mean, we're going to do it occasionally because we're just going to make mistakes. It happens. But if we are staying in line with what it is, if we're staying in line with the good, when we do make a mistake and blow up in our face, it won't burn our house down. Well, we might lose our eyebrows, but you know. I am free to think in all possible ways about the good, the true, and the perfect. Remember, perfect means whole. There are endless possibilities of right thinking and right action. So why bother to go do anything other than right action and right thinking? Endless variety. We'll never get bored. I now assume dominion over of my mind and emotions and dedicate them towards positive goals. Mind and emotion, thoughts and feelings. So when I am treating thoughts and feelings, and dedicate them to positive goals, I enjoy the infinite variety of divine ideas, and I contemplate their possibilities of making me a new creature, expressing spiritual discernment. And discernment is a word we use instead of judgment because of all the negative connotations that judgment can have. Spiritual discernment. We still make choices. The difference between discernment and judgment is ego. My faith in God is so great that I have no faith in evil, because I recognize that evil is not a power. Evil is a misuse of the law. I can't have faith in the misuse of a law. I cannot conceive of evil's power, for I know that God alone is power and is presence. I just said it. Evil isn't a power. Life to me is an affirmative action of thought. I think affirmatively this day, knowing that good is created, maintained, and extended by doing so. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part by thinking affirmatively, by recognizing the power of good around me, in me, and through me, and in every child of God that I meet, whether they walk on 2 legs or 4, or 6 or 8, or none. I drink of the living water of spiritual truth and am never thirsty for error again. I eat of the heavenly manna of God's ideas and never hunger for old experiences. Once I found this teaching, I didn't need to go back. I didn't need to go back. I found the language that speaks to me. And if this isn't your bag, then that's okay. Once you find it, you'll know it. You'll know it in your heart, and things will just be a little bit better. I'm not going to say easier, because sometimes we still got work to do, but it's better. And while the load we carry is still a load, it's lighter because we know we're not carrying it by ourselves. I look forward with my mind and create good ahead of me. I do this deliberately, for my future will be the result of my thinking today. The future will be the result of my thinking today, which means it behooves me to think positively today to create a more positive and brighter future. Ouch. Okay, yeah, just kick me in the seat of my pants. Let that negative thinking go. I don't indulge in it much, but every now and again, I like to have a good wallow. And then I pick myself up, go take a shower, and get on with it. God's thoughts are my thoughts, and good it appears instantly wherever I look. God's thoughts are my thoughts, and good appears instantly wherever I look, because I'm looking with the eyes of God. When I'm looking with the eyes of love, it literally can be that easy. If you walk into a situation and you go, "Oh my God," you close your eyes, you take a deep breath, you ground and center yourself in that love, and open your eyes again and look at the situation again. And then you are looking at possibilities, not problems. I did just say you had to do the work. You have to ground and center yourself in that love. So, take all the time you need. Sometimes it's like that, and sometimes it takes a little more time. Thinking rightly of God and of people is a joyous and easy accomplishment. My mind is centered in heaven, and good is established in my earth. Now, a couple of days ago, we were talking about how we create our own world. This is what he's talking about. My mind is centered in heaven, and good is established in my earth, in the world that I live in. And everybody lives in their own world. I hate to break it to you. Everybody lives in their own world. Because no two people are ever going to see the world the same way. We might see it close, but it's going to be a little different. And so I am stating the fact that there is good in my world. I will state the fact that there is good in your world too. But it's up to you to see it. I can't see it for you. I can know it for you, but I can't see it for you. Ideas of good appear in my consciousness continuously, and I give them free action through me. I am in full control of my own destiny, and I now create good alone. We are in full control of our own destiny. Does it mean that we won't get moved around in relation with other people? No. It's going to happen. When we are in relation with other people, we're going to get moved around. But in the long run, our destiny is in our own hands. No predestination, and no one can do that destiny for you. That's you. So if you have been letting the winds of fate blow you around, stand your ground. Create your own world. Recognizing only the one true source of my thinking, that's the mind of the divine mind, I experience only the one possible effect in my experience, the effect of good. Controlled, poised, and sure, I see God everywhere as I think God's thoughts with God. And if that falls a bit heavy on the ears, feel free to change it to controlled, poised, and sure, I see Spirit everywhere as I think Spirit's thoughts with Spirit. Or substitute any word you want. I'm not going to police your language, and as you can see, I have no issues at all changing earnests. All right, beloveds. The mission today is to control our thought. How do we do that? By aligning ourselves with the divine mind. How do we do that? By looking with the eyes of love. By grounding and centering in that divine love. And once we do that, then we can close our eyes. We can close our eyes to all of the problems in the world and open them in love and see the possibilities. There's only one power. Only one power. And it's the same power that made you, which means you have access to all of it. All right, our mission, should we choose to accept it? I don't know. All right, we'll go with this one. Our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to be free to think in all possible ways about the good, the true, and the perfect. There's an infinite variety of ways to think about good. And if the way you have been doing it isn't working for you, drop it and find a new one. Drop it and find a new one. All right, beloveds, I also suggest, as I always do, to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like today. What it may look like for me for the next couple of weeks, as we are in the dog days of summer, is I may switch to biking because, oh my gosh, I don't want to run in this. The feels like it was 89 degrees when I left my house at 7:30. No thank you. So that may be my loving, kind, and compassionate. For myself, this is also loving, kind, and compassionate. I don't know if you can hear her purr, but oh my gosh. She is pure love. Pure love. She's also very annoying, but I love her anyway. All right, beloveds. I have engaged my mind and my body. I've told you how I'm going to engage my mind and my body through the rest of this heat. So find an interesting and intriguing way to do that. Go get that face full of sun as early as you can. It will set your day. And please drink plenty of water. It's hot. It's hot. And when I say drink water, that is my plea from you to take care of yourself, to know that you're loved, and take care of yourself. Right? Right, Rita? No? You have nothing to say. All right. Well, I'm going to move into the process of my day, and I'm going to put this 14-pack cat down because she is a big girl. And move on into the process of my day. I hope you have a wonderful day. And do. And please remember, you are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased always and forever. That is our state of grace. So while we are thinking about that state of grace, we can open the windows of our soul, allow the breath of heaven to remind us we do live in heaven now, right here, right now. It merely takes us being willing to control our thought, to think the good in that infinite variety, to allow those divine ideas to flow. Because there is a never-ending supply of those. A never-ending supply of those. We are free. But it does require alignment. Alignment with the good. All right, beloveds. Check the email, info@creativelife.org. I have no idea what's going on. I was paying attention to the announcements yesterday. But you can always check. I did get the Sunday up on YouTube, and it doesn't look... It actually downloaded very well. So please check us out. Check out the YouTube channels. The Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube channel, and mine, which is the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel, which is where these are. All right, beloveds, have a wonderful day. I'll see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And do know that Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. today. All right, beloveds, have a great day.